Good morning, traders. I am Emily Advani, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Friday, June 21st. Today's moves follow a mixed day on Wall Street yesterday. The Dow was the day's only winner, adding nearly 300 points or 3/4%. The S&P 500 slipped 13 points or 1/4%. This after skimming a record level of 5,500 points earlier in the session. The Nasdaq also tumbled from a record high, dropping 140 points or more than 3/4%. Bill, let's get into Friday with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Yes, good morning, Emily. I'm watching the S&Ps. The S&Ps, are lower. We're down, 0.13%. That's it's been lower all day. It did flash green for a moment there, but it is definitely in the negative territory now. The thing is that AI, rally, and we might have saw the highs for the year yesterday. It does seem to be starting to fade, and that's what's concerning the markets this morning. And there are other factors as well. I mean, one of the big things going on today is the purchasing managers reports, the PMI data. This is going to be the key focus this morning. I look at Europe, and those flash PMIs really are causing those European stocks to weaken. In terms of earnings, FedEx, Micron, Nike, they're all set to report next week. But here's an interesting one: Canada. Canada is considering issuing tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles following the EU and the US. So yeah, that's kind of a big story there. But we're keeping an eye on those overseas markets this morning, and there's just a lot of negativity this morning. That's all I can say. I'm looking at the DAX. The DAX is down 104 points or 0.57%. I'm looking at the FTSE. It's down 51 points or 0.63%. And the CAC is down 47 points or 0.62%. In Germany, the Flash PMI came in at 50.6. That's down from 52.4 in May. You're looking at London, the PMI decreased. It came in at 51.70. It was 53 in May. And then you look at France, the output numbers came in at 48.2 in June. The May number was 48.9. So that's also weak. So the PMI data is weakening. PMI data is really causing European to slow down. We're getting our PMI data later this morning. These are the flash numbers. Then you're looking last night at Asia. Again, it was right across the board. You're looking at the Nikkei down, 36 points or 0.009. The Hang Seng dropped 306 points or 1.67%. In China, the Shanghai market, dropped 7.3 points. Now that brings it down below the 3,000 level. So that's a drop of 0.24%. The Nikkei, hey, Japanese inflation data accelerated. That's not good for them. The inflation rate jumped to 2.8% in May from 2.5% in April. Hong Kong, losses were broad-based. Consumer property stocks, were really weighed on the index. In China, those trade tensions that I talked about earlier with Canada, that's an issue. And consumer-related stocks really did show some weakness. But I do start to like Chinese stocks when it's under that 3,000 level. I mean, that starts to get things a little bit more interesting for me, I will say. We're looking at oil. Oil's showing weakness this morning. That shouldn't surprise you, because when the manufacturing data starts to weaken, prices start to get a little nervous. You're looking at WTI, $81.16 a barrel. You're looking at Brent, $85.59 a barrel. That's down about 0.15% this morning. So that's the activity in the PMI and even the service sectors were weak. That's what's causing the weakness in oil, and that's what I have for you in terms of a morning market update report, Emily.
Bill, there is plenty to sift through there, and you gave us a preview of things like some earnings and some to look ahead to. You also gave us all of that data on, the PMI numbers overseas as we're expecting ours here, as you mentioned this morning, having a good handle on the economic events today. And then, of course, there's still other market moving information you're looking through. And we're going to get through all of that on today's show. And we're going to start here with earnings section. Bill, give us a look at what we should be watching when it comes to earnings.
All right, yeah, let's talk about the earnings. Let's start off with CarMax, ticker KMX, Kilo, Michael X-ray. They beat by 3 cents. It was done on, lower revenue, which isn't good. You're looking at the stock this morning, but the stock is showing, some slight gains. It's trading higher by 1.58%. Then you look at it, FactSet Research, ticker FDS, Frank David Sam. They beat by 47 cents on slightly lower revenue, but they gave positive guidance. That stock's up a little over 3% this morning. There's no earnings out this afternoon. Monday morning, I don't see any, but in Monday afternoon, ticker EPAC, Elvis, Paul, Apple, Charlie, Enerpac Tool Group, they're going to be releasing earnings. Their EPS is 47 cents. Expected move is 5.79% when they release Monday afternoon, Emily.
And keeping an eye on that. And we're also keeping an eye on economic data this morning. As you mentioned, that PMI number is really the big headline here, but a couple of other things to be watching. So, Bill, give us a rundown of what we should be watching when it comes to the day's economic events.
Well, at 9:45 a.m. this morning, we get the PMI composite flash figures. Then at 10 a.m., we get the existing home sales. At 11 a.m., we get the Fed's monetary policy report. This is a big one. It comes out quarterly. And then at 1 p.m., you get the Baker Hughes rig count figures coming out. I also want to point out that Neil Kashkari of the Minneapolis Fed, he spoke to the Michigan Bankers Association yesterday, and his comments reflected a cautious approach to monetary policy, and he continues to reiterate the Fed's narrative that they need to bring back inflation down to that 2% target, and he thinks it's going to take a year or two to bring inflation back down to 2%. So his timeline kind of is suggesting it's going to take longer than the market may be anticipating. But so that's not positive. But he's probably could be right. So that's what I have for you in terms of a morning market update report, Emily.
Bill, the other thing you're keeping track of this morning, as you do every morning, are the day's other market moving news items and information coming out of different sectors and segments. You look at things like merger news, guidance news, shareholders meetings, buyback news. You look at stocks together, like your FANG stocks and your Dow 30 stocks, gathering all the information that you need for any trading day using your NewsWare and having these alerts set up. So as you do for us every morning, Bill, what else do you see as possibly moving the markets today?
Just looking at my Dow stocks, I got 13 higher, 12 lower, the rest unchanged. I'm looking at my FANG stocks. Apple's trading slightly higher, the rest are lower. So, you do think we're going to, open up with some weakness this morning. You're looking at Apple, some news behind it. Apple is looking for a Chinese partner to help offer its AI services. Amazon.com is considering a monthly fee for their revamped Alexa with AI. Meta platforms. New York Governor Hochul signed legislation to curb addictive social media platforms. It looks like Dow Jones 30 stocks, McDonald's. Listen, McDonald's, could move a little higher this morning. I mean, the fact of the matter is there's going to be elevated promotional activity on McDonald's, and they're going to be promoting this new $5 meal deal because it's going to start to be released on June 25th. Johnson & Johnson submits a ticker J&J, Nancy John. They submitted an application for its Crohn's disease treatment to the FDA. Visa, MasterCard. China's asking Visa, MasterCard to cut its transaction fees. Let's see what else we got. We got some merger news to talk about. SPR, Sam Paul Richard. This is Spirit Airlines. Boeing's nearing a deal with Spirit Aerosystems. Ticker SPR, Sam Paul Richard. Remember, SPR was a spinoff of Boeing. Boeing used to own SPR. Back in the 90s, they spun it off, and now they're looking to take it back over again. Penn Entertainment, ticker PENN, Paul Edward, Nancy, casino operator, Boyd Gaming has approached Penn Entertainment to express interest in a takeover. Shares of Penn are up 0.2% this morning. In terms of guidance news, we got FactSet, ticker FDS, Frank David Sam. They raised their 2024 adjusted EPS to $16 to $16.40. Street estimates, the earlier estimates that they gave out were $15.60 to $16. So yeah, that's positive. JD.com, ticker JD. They had a shareholders meeting this morning at 3 a.m. Miller Industries is having a shareholders meeting today, later today as well, I see. In terms of buyback news, Asana, ticker ASAN, Apple Sam, Apple Nancy, they're going to be buying back $150 million worth of shares. S ticker STM, Sam, Tom, Michael, that's ST Microelectronics. They're going to be buying back up to $1.1 billion worth of shares. Yeah, that's what I have for you in terms of a morning market news in the tape this morning, Emily.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. We've now made it to that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. Bill, what is your pick to end this week?
Las Vegas Sands, ticker LVS, Larry Victor Sam. I don't have any earnings play, so but this one I kind of like. I mean, it's a sector deal. It's a sector, activity is positive in the casino stocks today because of the pending, a merger, or possible merger news with Penn Entertainment. Las Vegas Sands is kind of best to breed. They're one of the top casino operators out there. Now I'm looking at yesterday's call volume. 22,540 versus put volume at 9,672. That's 2-to-1. That's good. And then you look at the call open interest, 218,391 versus 117,367. Yeah, that's pretty darn positive. And the major brokers too like the stock. They all have overweight ratings on it. Um, you know, so I don't have this near-term catalyst event other than a possible deal being announced by Boyd Gaming and Penn Entertainment. But I do think this could see some activity. I mean, for Penn Entertainment, for me, the entry price is everything. And I'm looking to get in under 44.25. If I can get under 44.25, I do think the stock could rally up to 45 and achieve that 1%. So that's my pick of the day. LVS, Larry Victor Sam, on the industry sector momentum, Emily.
Rolling the dice here on Las Vegas Sands this morning. We will follow that along with you. And coming up, we will do a recap on yesterday's pick of the day before we sign off for the weekend. But ahead of that, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our hot off the press segment. Bill, take it away.
Okay, what do we see? Bank of America upgrades European autos and airline stocks. All right. Morgan Stanley's out there with a note on Apple saying the App Stores and iPhone bill suggests upside to Apple estimates. Tommy Hilfiger and SailGP team announced a partnership. Okay, PVH, Paul Victor Henry. What else do we got here? Lending Tree, ticker TRE, Tom Richard Edwards. Stock got weak yesterday on rumors that the company's data was hacked. UNH, ticker Uncle Nancy Henry, Change Healthcare has started notifying its providers of the cyber attack. Lilly, ticker LLY, they're taking legal action against the sellers of unapproved weight loss drugs. SRPA, Sam Paul Richard Apple, Serafina, they received accelerated FDA approval. That's pushing that stock higher by like 30% this morning. Starbucks, SBUX, using a 2-for-1 promotion to help lure back customers might not be enough. As soon as that promotion ends, people will stop going because the coffee prices are too high. They just keep raising them. U.S. banking regulators rejected Citigroup's so-called living will, which is a detailed plan to wind down itself in the event of a catastrophic failure. Southwest Airlines, ticker LUV, Larry Uncle Victor. The FAA said yesterday that it is investigating Southwest Airlines flight that lost altitude as it was approaching the Oklahoma City airport. Exxon Hess arbitration panel is incomplete. Hess the sales to Chevron is stalled. That's all I'm seeing this morning, Emily.
Okay, Bill, before we dive into trading on this Friday, Let's do that check in on yesterday's pick of the day. Bill, your pick of the day was Disney. We're hoping there'd be like a little bit of momentum in this stock. Just in general, some positive news that, box office with their new movie Inside Out 2. There was, soon to be releases in China. You were looking for a specific entry point here and hoping that you would get a gain from there. One story on Disney this morning: California Disney employees are suing the company over a relocation to Florida, a new campus that was later scrapped. So that is happening with Disney this morning. But you were looking at it yesterday, Bill. How did your call work out?
Worked out great. I mean, listen, the stock opened up at $100.57. Remember, I said under $100.50, and it did fall down to $100.38. And then it started rallying. It actually hit a high of 101.93, and it closed at 101.84. So Disney, that play really did work out. It was good. We caught a good one there yesterday with Walt Disney, ticker DIS, David India Sam, Emily.
Another win there, Bill, and we will check in with you on Monday about today's Las Vegas Sands pick of the day. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here Monday and each weekday morning next week at NewsWare's Trade Talk, when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Advani, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.